Really, David?
Yeah.
You sound it.
My hair is ridiculously long.
It is, isn't it? You're looking proper. Looking very 70s.
Mm.
Which isn't a bad thing. Right. I don't know where I'm going to... You know what? It started. I've decided. We've started. Where are we going? It's happening. So, welcome to another Rap Party episode, visual/audio, because fun. Here we are. And we're doing a top 5, which is something we haven't done in a hot minute. It's been... I didn't look exactly, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
Because we sort of had like special stuff, and then over Christmas we had a bit of a... We didn't do some for a bit, and then we sort of... and then... Was it like our year anniversary? We sort of didn't do some for 2 weeks.
Yeah, we
took like a 2-week holiday after we'd done a year.
We did the top 10 films and top 5 TV shows of 2019.
Oh yeah, because we did that week and we just got knackered.
I don't think we've done anything since then.
No, this is the first top 5 of the second year of Rap Party.
Oh, very nice.
And that top 5 is top 5 British sitcoms. We were going to do sitcoms, and then we narrowed it down a little bit, and that means we can do a future episode where we do American sitcoms and we just milk more ideas out of this singular one. So,
I guess
today it is top 5
British
British.
Purpose as well. The fact that we're doing sitcom and TV is that everyone is currently quarantining, everyone's indoors. So we're just offering up some light-hearted
stuff to watch,
TV shows as opposed to films for once.
Yeah, something you can dip in and out of.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we'd probably get a bit wistful if we started talking about films.
Yeah, we would.
Oh, I miss the cinema.
Yeah, mad. Right.
I'm looking forward to it. Going back.
We're
looking forward to Tenet. They haven't pushed that one back.
That's going to be like, I think when cinemas come out, that's going to be like one of the first big, well, depending on what happens. Potentially, it's like the first big re-entrance.
I am clinging on to the hope that is the first, that's going to...
Like first weekend back, bang.
Yeah.
When is the date? You know what, we're getting sidetracked.
5th of July, I think.
That's possible. That's doable.
It's July.
Yeah. So good. All right, then.
It could be so good.
So, a refresher, because it's been so long. Our top 5/10 list, this is how they work. Each of us has composed a list of 5 top 10 TV shows and an honourable mention. Those TV shows will give them points in their respective order. So 5th place will receive 1 point, 1st place will receive 5 points, the rest filling in the gaps you'd notice. But we each, as I mentioned, get an honourable mention. That honourable mention, if mentioned by someone else, will gain a bonus 2 points for every mention it gets. So that can, as we've handed out in the past, that can change the results. A few honourable mentions have snuck in before due to the bonus points. So at the end, we will have a top 5. That is the official Rap Party top 5 of that subject this week, being British sitcoms, and that is a definitive list. No one can argue with it. It will forever be, forever be, bloody hell, the most definite list ever. Fuck your BuzzFeeds, fuck your Watch Mojos, all that bullshit. This is where it's at.
In general, fuck Watch Mojo.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, true.
It's the worst.
Have you ever dipped into Miss Mojo? It is the most patronising YouTube channel. It's just lists aimed at women, but some of them are just. Oh, you know what? I'm going to get into it because
some of them are copy and pasted from their original one. I'm sure of it.
Oh yeah, they're very similar. They just tweak them.
What I find patronising is Watch Mojo UK.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
That's some bullshit.
You know what? When it first started, it wasn't too bad when it first started because it seemed like it was just a few people making list videos. I'm like, okay, fine. But now they're like a massive company. I'm like, oh,
and how dare they like specify directly?
Yeah.
Like,
how dare they quantify art?
Yeah.
Put numbers and maths to art.
UK
How disgusting.
art specifically. Anyway, on with our British sitcoms.
Yes. So,
we back up our things and actually show the work.
Yeah, they just sort of spout generic bullshit about something for the 30
Honestly,
seconds after they say it.
Just take what they say, put it on Wikipedia. You cannot tell the fucking difference.
It's just a description. There's nothing. There's no actual opinion expressed. Right. Stop shitting on our competitors. Yes, we are equal, and you are our competitors. So.
No, we're far superior, Ryan. Please.
Okay, fair enough. I was giving the benefit of the doubt. Who wants to go first? Any takers?
You know what? Sam can go first.
Well, Sam is here. Sam has gifted us a list, although he's not here. Well, none of us are here in person, but he's not here in any, even digitally. So he's sent a list to David, and David is going to read that on. So Sam's honourable mention, if you'd please.
He's got two.
Okay.
He doesn't know if either of them count, but if they do, pick one.
Okay.
So it's 2012 / The Office, and he's not sure if they count because they're mockumentary format.
That's fine.
And I say that's absolutely fine.
Yeah. Absolutely fine.
And if we're going to pick one, we're picking The Office.
Yes.
Yeah, 2012 is basically came off of The Office, I would say.
Well, no, 2012, it didn't come off of isn't it like the thick of it, people? Isn't it
When I say it came off, it basically aped the style.
Oh, as in, okay, I thought you meant okay. It's the same people behind it, isn't it? For the thick of it and 2012 and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. Office.
Go for The Office. Yep.
The honourable mention for Sam.
Perfect.
His reasoning being both funny.
I mean, that's good. That's what you want from a situation comedy.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah, he's done well, has Sam.
I think all of them are. I think that's a prerequisite, isn't it? For them to be on the list.
If they're in your top 5, chances are that you find them funny.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, probably.
Right.
That's fair. Do you want to keep hearing my voice, or do you want to hear?
Yeah, might as well. You know what? Let's just do back to back. Let's go straight on with David.
Okay. My honourable mention is Faulty Towers.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Perfect.
Lovely.
As a one, like I saw it in my head as you did that.
Yep.
Cool. Faulty Towers is an absolute classic. I think quite a lot of people would have put it higher on a list. I obviously haven't, but
yeah, clearly
there are so many good sitcoms out there.
Yeah, it's hard to narrow
Faulty
down.
Towers is, it's we all know why Faulty Towers.
You could say it's very archetypal.
Very sorry about this noise.
It's all right. It's fine. I can't hear it, so it's fine.
Yeah, I can't hear you, boy.
How can you not?
No.
What sound are you
How
making?
can you not hear that?
Can't hear anything, mate.
Weird. All right, carry on.
We'll
You
stay
just look
quiet.
mental.
We'll stay absolutely quiet. You do it again.
Right, sorry. That was mental. I was getting this phone call and it was like really loud.
Okay.
What is it me now?
Well, unless David has more to say.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Not really. I think John Cleese is perfect in this. In it, they're all great. Only 2 series, unfortunately, but you could argue that there could be more on. But it's lasting as well.
Yeah.
Like you've still got pop-up restaurants that do the Faulty Towers experience, where people go in as the characters and create havoc in your dinner.
Yep. Absolutely.
Which I'd quite like to do one day.
Yeah. Well, exactly. It's the sort of I want to do it. We'll go together.
Yes. Yeah, I'd like to see that. It'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be great. But yeah, just the fact that things like that are still going on shows the staying power of something like Faulty Towers. So I think it deserves a spot on the list.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Not actually on the top 5, but if anyone else has put it, I'd highly recommend that or I highly think something you may well have done. It's definitely worth the extra 2 points.
Lovely.
Definitely.
All right.
Callum.
Me. So my honourable mention is Spaced.
Yep.
Part of the reason being, I've always found that if you were to give me the option of watching Spaced or the behind the scenes like hour and a half special of Spaced, I would 100% sort of 9 times out of 10 watch the behind the scenes special.
Yeah.
I think the process of them making it was more interesting to me than the show itself. kind of like a Heart of Darkness, Apocalypse Now kind of thing. It was just the production and the history of it was so much more interesting to me than the actual show itself, which I find a little bit dated, amateur. It was him. It was Edgar Wright finding.
It was done on a fucking budget, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. But so was Shaun of the Dead, and that to this day is perfectly constructed.
Yeah, but I think a low TV budget is probably less than a low film budget.
I would agree. But
arguably more work to do a 6-series TV show. Like, it's a lot more hours.
It was definitely him honing his craft.
Oh yeah, you can see it as well. You can, even in the series from episode 1 to the last episode, you can see that all of them have improved in writing and everything.
Yeah. The thing I find about Spaced
is perfect, but I like it a lot.
The thing I find about Spaced is there's a lot of heart in it. You can tell that everybody's loving doing it. I think
the commentary is really good as well. If you want to listen to the commentary.
Okay.
For the same reason the documentary is really good. Like, the commentary is just them having a nice time.
Ryan?
My honourable mention is Fawlty Towers.
Ooh.
So it's got 2 mentions, but it's going to miss out on all the possible points.
Unless Callum's got it on his list.
And that means it's going to get...
It's going to be 10th.
Sam and Callum's got it. It's going to get 4 points.
It'll get 4 bonus points if it's on Callum's list. No pressure, Callum.
And if it's on Sam's, is it on Sam's?
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
Oh, okay.
We'll find out right now.
So I couldn't agree with you more, David. It's there because of its sort of... It's a sort of cornerstone, if that makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of modern comedy wouldn't exist without like Fawlty Towers.
So it deserves to be there because it's the starting point of the British sitcom, I'd say.
Yeah.
Good ones, anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Because there were some shit ones before that.
Yes, everything before Fawlty Towers
didn't happen. It's all awful.
All right.
Wonderful. Sam's number 5.
Sam's number 5 is Friday Night Dinner.
Okay. Very new one.
Yeah, very, very
currently still airing.
It's in its 6th series.
Yeah, which is unusual for a British sitcom.
Sitcoms, yes. Yeah, they traditionally only get 2 series and then there's
maybe 3 if they're really good.
Yeah.
Or even if they're really good.
He says he hasn't watched it much, but from what he has seen, it makes him wonder why he doesn't sit down to watch the full thing.
Okay.
So he's seen a few episodes and loved it, but not actually bothered.
But still put it above The Office.
Yeah.
Sam, not questioning it, but you're fucking wrong.
I'm going off of 4 lines of WhatsApp, so...
It's just, if you haven't finished it all, I don't think it should go something like, you know what, I'm not gonna.
It depends how much sitcom you've actually seen. If you
true.
A lot of people would say it, like, we're not doing American ones at the moment, but a lot of people haven't watched the entirety of Friends from start to finish, but they'd still throw it down there as one of their favorites because it's
true. Well, Callum has, I know that much.
I have seen it 1 to 10 many, many times.
Yes, me too.
I think I've done it once, but not on purpose. Like, it just happened.
Just happened.
Yeah.
David, you're number 5.
Yes. I'm gonna throw a little bit of a curveball in there.
Oh,
just a little one. Vicar of Dibley.
Oh, that's not a curveball. I had it on my long list.
Yeah, it's well, I would argue it's, for a lot of people, it's probably not top tier Britcom, but I fucking love it.
I
don't know why. I don't know why. I adore it. I haven't seen it that many times, but it's one of the things we sort of watched growing up.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time that can just stick with you.
I believe I have the box set. I do. I can see it. It's next to the French and Saunders box set, so that makes sense.
That does make a lot of sense. But there's something, it's more modern, but it still has that very quaint sensibility to it.
Well, yeah, considering it ended in like 98, apart from specials and stuff, the actual series finished in 98.
Yeah, but it still feels very traditional 70s, 80s style.
Yeah, but it has a modern turn on it.
A modern twist. Female vicar. Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh.
And
but they very quickly moved away from that.
Yes,
that was very much like the first
that was the hook
series.
to get you into the show.
And then it was just about some weird people in the countryside.
And it's and they're all lovable characters.
They are
hilarious.
And sadly, most of them have left us. Unfortunately.
Yes.
Which is sad.
Yeah.
What a dour note to end my entry.
Just saying.
No,
a lot of them are dead. It's sad.
I'm gonna miss the comedy stylings of Thickery Dibbly.
Yeah.
Callum.
Callum, no, number 5, plus.
So my number 5 is Only Fools and Horses.
Lovely.
Good shout.
Only Fools and Horses. But part of the reason being is I don't think every episode is a masterpiece.
No, certainly
there's a lot of not good episodes, I'd say. A lot of episodes that I can happily skip. However, the ones that are good are absolutely just like some of the best comedy TV. Absolutely amazing. Especially the first few seasons, like the episodes were so funny.
Yeah, I think the first few seasons, like they don't like, but when they get towards the end, they're like going to like the Margate trip and things like the chandeliers. Like the budget clearly went up.
Yeah,
so they started going a bit, but the first ones it's just them living really.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I know what you mean. Like by the end, like, the fight didn't finish on a special when they were in like Miami.
That's right. Yeah.
Like it's mad.
I'm mental.
Yeah, like it really stepped up. So I know what you mean.
Yeah.
The early sort of sitcominess of it.
Yeah, that's all I have to say. Really, great show.
Yeah, definitely, defo. Right, my number 5 is Black Books.
Nice.
Ooh.
Dylan Moran vehicle. It's wonderfully absurd and angry. And Bill Bailey's excellent in it. It was his first acting thing, Bill Bailey, and he still did it excellently. It's really surreal despite being set in a very mundane setting.
Yeah.
Like peculiar stuff happens, but they just work and live in a bookshop.
Oh yeah. I love that show, man.
It's very well written because his use of words is very peculiar. Like one of my favorite lines is like, "There's customers in the shop," and he goes, "You can't leave me here. They're like a nest of pigs," which isn't a thing, but you immediately know what he means.
Yeah,
a nest of pigs.
I also liked how sparingly they used the laughter track in that show.
Yeah, because it is done in front of an audience, like it's recorded live.
Right.
But they turn it down. They tone it down and leave. But there's also a lot of offset stuff, on occasion stuff. Yeah. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, watch it because it's very funny.
Yeah, I agree. It's fantastic.
And it's a free series. Yeah, free series. And it's very funny. Wonderful.
Okay.
Back to Sam for his number 4.
Sam's number 4 is The Midnight Beast.
Oh God.
Which I've never heard of.
I've never heard of it either.
Oh, it's bad.
Oh no, Sam.
Oh, it's really bad.
What's it? What is it? I've never even heard of it.
It's these 3 guys, and they started off as they're like a really shit, really, 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 really shit Lonely Island.
Right.
Like an extraordinarily shit Lonely Island. To the point that it's...
No, I do know these guys. I've seen them live.
Yeah, same. They're at the forum.
Yeah, I've seen them live. Oh yeah, they're rubbish.
They're appalling. And so they started off just doing parody songs.
That's right.
And then I think BBC 3 gave them a sitcom where they just fuck about in a flat and like crowbar their songs in. Like the plot will just be based around a song having to happen.
Right. Okay.
No, awful.
The description is reminding me a little of Flight of the Conchords.
It is, but with none of the
Flight of the Conchords is great.
Comic value.
Flight of the Conchords is the best show ever.
Yeah, in fact, yeah. Which is definitely going to be an American sitcom's probably going to be near the fucking top. But yeah, Sam, you are dreadful.
Well, he says, liked their music, show is fun.
Okay.
That's generous.
And it sounds like you disagree with both of those statements.
Oh, I do. I really do. I'm sorry,
dear.
Sam, but if you were here in person, I'd still be laughing as much as I am now. Because it's that bad. I'm not, you know what? I'm not even writing it down.
Safe to say it's not appearing on anyone
Because
else.
it's not going to make it, so I'm just going to put a cross.
Wow. Little do you know, my number one.
David, what have you got
Save
next?
it.
What's on your
Try and
agenda?
save it, David.
What? My number 4?
Yes.
The Midnight Beast. No, I'm joking. My number 4 is Red Dwarf.
Oh, that's better.
That's a great show.
Very better.
Red Dwarf's still going.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
They've got,
They did take a big gap.
Yes, they did.
It was
And
like a
they've
good,
got a
10-year
special
gap.
coming out around now, or it's already out. Or
Thanks to Dave, it had a big resurgence.
Yeah.
Daniel Gam of Dead Is Better fame went to the recording of the special.
Nice.
Nice. But yeah, love Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
Great show.
It's very. I've always liked it because it's very Douglas Adamsy.
Yes,
that's what I like about it.
What I like about it.
Yeah, it's a very it takes that approach to it.
Yeah, it's one of the best pilots for a sitcom I think I've ever seen. It sets everything up so well. And like when I watched it, I didn't really know what it was about. Only that it was the sort I've been told I would enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I was at the age or like the time in my life where I wouldn't research something beforehand.
Just dive in.
I just dive straight in. I'd be like, "Oh, this is wow! Look, that's so much cast. How am I going to follow all of these people?" And then they all get fucking killed off.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
technically killed off, but yeah,
killed off naturally.
Yeah, flung 100
through time.
But one person gets flung 100 million years into space and has to cope with a hologram, a cat that's grown into a human,
an evolved cat.
Yeah, and. Who's the other one?
Crichton, the android.
Crichton doesn't get added in until a couple of series.
Oh, yeah, true, yeah.
I think it might just be the 3 of them. And Holly, the ship's computer.
Who changes as well.
Yeah.
At some point.
It's so good. If you haven't seen it, at least give it a try.
I think I've definitely seen all of the old, like when before the big gap. When they came back, I did watch the first special when they came back, when they basically did like the Blade Runner parody. Where they all ran through glass. But other than that, I have not caught up with the most recent ones.
Seasons 1
I will do.
The originals. The best of it is between seasons 2 and 5, maybe 6.
Yeah.
Probably. I've done series 1 and 2, I think, in my life. I haven't gone past that, so I should probably check it out.
Yeah. No, it's if you didn't like seasons 1 and 2, you're probably not going to like the rest of it.
Oh no, I did. I did like it a lot.
Just didn't get around to.
Yeah, it is quite particular.
Yeah, and if you like your sci-fi, you'll like it as well. I think.
Yeah. There's some good sci-fi stuff thrown in there, but it's just, it is wonderful and excellently cast as well.
Yeah, and practically cast like unknowns. Like, hardly anyone was actually but there's no names in there. At the time.
Yeah. Now look at Craig Charles. Look at him.
Doing Radio 2 on.
He was on was it Coronation
Robot Wars? And he was on Coronation Street. Yeah. But Robot Wars is still his peak.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think he narrated to Shekhi.
He did narrate Takeshi's Castle as well, and he was very good at it.
Oh, he did.
And Crichton went on to do Scrap Heap Challenge.
Yeah, Scrap Heap Challenge. I fucking love Scrap Heap Challenge. I used to watch that all the time. It was so good.
Like the cast became icons of.
Yeah, in their own little niche.
Not huge icons, but niche icons.
Yeah.
I'd say wonderful.
Yeah.
But that's Anyway, that's my number 4.
Lovely. Callum.
My number 4 is Ricky Gervais's Derek.
I didn't. Oh shit.
It's partly because I've.
You know what? I don't think it would make it, but I love it.
I just rewatched it over the last few days, and it's got the kind of. It's funny. It's very, very funny. There's lots of really funny moments, but it's a more sort of soulful, depressing kind of comedy than I'd say even a lot of British comedies are, because a lot of British comedy is very depressing. But this is more so. It feels more like a Shane Meadows film than a Ricky Gervais sitcom.
Yeah, but then
But at the same
ridiculous stuff
time,
happens. Like when
exactly,
they do a Duran Duran tribute band. Like it goes the other direction.
Yeah. And I feel like part of it is like how they say if you listen to all of the Beatles solo records after like they split up, you can hear their elements of the Beatles in the same way that every Ricky Gervais show that he's done since he sort of split off with Stephen Merchant, you can see what he brought to the table from like Into the Office and Extras and Life's Too Short and all that stuff. You can see what things he brought to the table and what stuff Stephen Merchant brought to the table just through seeing his solo work.
Yeah.
And it's definitely the more sort of emotional side of things, and Afterlife would also solidify that.
Afterlife is more so. Afterlife is more depressing than.
Yeah, I would kind of disagree. I mean, I'm only like a couple of episodes into Afterlife, and it is very depressing. But Derek makes me cry more.
That's true. I think there's a difference though. There's a difference between being like making you cry and being just a sense of hopelessness.
Yeah, I guess.
Are two different things.
Yeah, like it's funny to pick a sitcom that makes you cry, but yeah, my number 4.
No, Derek makes me cry consistently twice every time I watch it through on 2 specific moments.
Yeah. The end of end of series 1 destroys me to pieces. And there's and the bit
when the dog dies. Fuck me.
Yeah, and the little sculpture at the end.
Yeah, Woo! And it's when it's the interview they do with the husband of the woman who's dying.
Yeah,
fucking kills me every time. I weep because it's a sitcom beautiful.
That makes you cry for number 4. Why not?
But also brilliantly hilarious. Like most of the time through Kev.
Yeah, Carl Pilkington's short-lived.
You know what? When those three are together, I think.
Yeah.
That's why the second series, when Kev's not there as much.
Yeah.
It had some good moments, but it was it the third series? One of them. It sort of wasn't as good. Yeah. But still really good.
The fact that Carl Pilkington left after series 1 as well is a shame.
It did.
It's very good. I love it. Love it.
Wonderful. Oh, it's me.
Yes, it is.
It's me. Right, me. My number 4 is the IT Crowd.
Woo!
It's a good shout.
I really like it. I think it's broad, but I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like it's very well done.
If broad humour is done well, that's a winning sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because there are tons of American sitcoms that have done broad well.
Yeah.
And nobody would say that they're not among the best.
Yeah, I think it's just that's fair enough. I just think IT Crowd.
You don't get many British sitcoms that are broad.
No, and good.
And
if they're broad, they're usually shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we could name several examples if you want.
We could.
I might leave.
The main one being Mrs. Brown's fucking cunty fucking shitty boys.
My number 1 is Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Callum, if your number 1 is Mrs. Brown's Boys, I will disown you.
No, but IT Crowd, very well written, very well acted. I think Richie Iowati holds it. Well, and Matt Berry, to be fair. Yeah. Oh, they all do. They all fucking do.
Richard Iowati has a very distinctive character that makes him stand out in it. But everyone else brings their A game.
Yeah, definitely. Episode. And very quotable. I could probably recite most of the episodes just off my head because they're so funny.
Can you recite the phone number for the fire brigade?
Oh, we've done this before on the podcast.
Yeah. 01189.
Me and Sam did it quietly while other people were talking.
Right. Speaking of Sam
and his dreadful decisions thus far.
Oh, it's another one I haven't heard of. His number 3: How Not to Live Your Life.
Oh, I know of it. It was all right. Not brilliant.
Apparently, it's funny.
Cool.
That's all he's written.
Did he Google? These all seem like to be in a specific year. He Googled late 2000s semi-successful sitcoms is what he Googled.
What's that one about the werewolf and the vampire that live together?
Oh, Being Human.
Yeah,
Not really a sitcom.
I'm imagining that's in there as well.
More of a drama, really.
Yeah,
Oh, is it? Okay.
It's got funny bits, but more of a drama.
Right, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, we probably should have clarified what we mean by sitcom.
A situation comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A comedy which takes place in a given situation.
David.
What is a comedy?
Yeah.
What is
how
your
long did it? Basically, it's about a guy who wants to kill himself. Sort of. He's really depressed. I can't really remember.
That sounds hilarious.
Yeah. It wasn't very well done.
No afterlife then.
No. No. Yeah, it was very lazily done. Really.
Okay.
It feels
By
so
no one
odd
particularly
that,
talented.
For most of Sam's list, we've come up with better alternatives.
Yeah, generally, yeah.
For each one that are sort of broadly on the same subject matter.
Yeah.
Very true.
All right.
David.
Yes. My number 3.
Yes.
I thought you were going to follow on with.
Sorry, I didn't. I was looking down on paper.
My number 3 is the IT Crowd.
Yay! Do 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 do. That was good because I didn't feel I did it justice. I didn't feel I spoke enough. So now you can.
I agree with
Do it
everything
better.
Ryan said.
Good.
No, honestly, the IT Crowd is excellently scripted. Each episode. One of my favorite things in sitcoms is where it's tradition, like standard sitcoms tend to have a core group of characters, and they'll split off into groups for most episodes and go off on their own adventures.
Yeah.
The IT Crowd sometimes does this, but a lot of the times it doesn't. And the times when it does, the two stories later coincide in a hilarious manner.
The best way being with the robot on the bomb.
Yeah,
that's the best one.
That was going to be my example.
Yeah,
and that's perfect. You don't see it coming, but the two separate funny stories coincide hilariously, and every single time that happens in the IT Crowd, it comes full circle basically, and they all end up together. And that's that's by far one of my favorite things to talk about when I talk about sitcoms.
I couldn't pick a favorite episode of IT Crowd.
No,
they're all so. Like,
when
I think of one, I think of another, and I think of another.
The moment you mention one episode, somebody else mentions another one, and you're like, yeah. No, IT Crowd's brilliant, and I think Noel Fielding is underused.
Yeah.
If they put more of him in there, I think I might get sick of it.
Yeah.
Not sure.
I don't know. Well,
he's worth mentioning.
Yeah, he was involved.
Yeah.
I think it was genuinely. I think from listening to the commentary and stuff, I think it was a scheduling thing. I think he could do the first series and he did like a little bit in the second one, and then
he came back in the fourth.
He was doing other things, and then he came back to the very last one.
Can't forget Goff to Boss.
Goff to Boss, yeah. That's not her. That's not her. Sorry, it's not her. All of that just to not mean anything. It was just a way of getting him back in to do a ridiculous thing. Right.
I annoyingly the mention of Noel Fielding made me remember Mighty Boosh, and I was just like,
happened?
Mighty Boosh again.
Is that a sitcom though?
It better be.
Oh shit!
Much like Midnight Beast, much like Flight of the Conchords, they have all these crazy songs
in it.
But
they also it's just people in the first series. It's them people working in a zoo and stuff happens.
Yeah,
and they're living in a flat and stuff happens, and they run a shop and stuff happens. And you could describe that as any.
It's just very surreal. It's surreal.
It's
weird. And I'm kind of gutted. I didn't think of it and put it down because it really caters to my love of surrealism and.
I think we might get a chance to talk about it later, Callum.
Yeah, for sure. But
in fact, talk about it now because it's my number 3.
I said put in the film. I put in the show 40 Towers. 40 Towers.
Oh, nice.
Nice. It got some pointage.
Oh, bonus points. Stormed into.
Yeah, so far. It is because no one else has got anything higher than that. So
40 Towers, I think in terms of situation comedy, each episode is very much about the situation.
A situation, yes. The
All the
situation
other-
occurs.
Yeah, all the other ones we've mentioned all have like amazing individual jokes, or like a couple of different stories tangenting between each other. But when it comes to 40 Towers, the thing you talk about is specifically the situation, not so much the joke. Every now and then you can do like one of the jokes, like the war, all that kind of stuff.
War, yeah, of course, the classic. The war.
But the situation are funny. Sorry? Oh yeah, I do apologize. I do apologize. But yeah, the situations are so fucking funny, man. They're so funny. And his reaction to everything going wrong, which most of the time he starts like it's his fault that it's gone wrong. Yeah. He tells even worse. It's just so funny.
And then he just gets like really arrogant and just pretends it's not his fault.
Yeah.
And blames on someone else just really overtly. Or completely just pretends he doesn't know what the hell is happening. Like, is it? Oh, great.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Love it. Every episode is great. Much like an album of songs that you never skip. I find 40 Towers very similarly. Each song is very specific, but you don't skip any of them. They're all as good as each other, or whatever. Great show. Onwards.
Good.
It is an excellent show.
I am very glad it appeared on someone else's
Me
list.
too.
Like, I put it as an honorable mention. I was like, I really hope it gets more points than 0. Yeah. I would not. No, I wouldn't sit right.
What's our guess on Sam putting it either 1 or 2, considering his list so far?
I'm saying nothing.
Right. Also, my number 3 is
Mighty Boosh, you said.
Is My Bush, yes.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
You want to talk about
it? Yeah. What I love about it is, despite it's all like surreal setting and weird stuff happened, when you read the script without all the visual stuff, it is essentially just 2 men having a bit of a bicker.
Yeah.
It's just 2 guys like disagreeing about something quite minor, and it just and then something weird happens, and they go into this weird world where the spirit of jazz exists, or there's a green-faced hitchhiker with a giant thumb, or a mermaid with a mangina. Like, there's so many different but essentially it's just 2 men having a bit of a dig at each other now and again, but they also live with a monkey and a shaman. It's very surreal, yet set in a slightly boring setting to begin with. Like, they're just in a zoo or in a flat or a shop, but then they're off in different strange places and making odd references to things that other people don't reference. The music's really good as well, because Julian Barrett is an exceptional musician.
Absolutely, yeah. I think an interesting thing to talk about. I think this caters to mostly everything we've spoken about. Is unlike American sitcoms, British sitcoms tend to be the vision of one filmmaker. Like
generally,
or
1 or maybe 2 people.
Yeah, 2 creators or 1 creator. But Paul King directed all of Mighty Boosh, you can feel like his stamp. And when you watch Paddington or Bunny and the Ball, anything he's created since, you just like, this is his stamp, man. It's amazing. Yeah. And it's so cool that we get these auteur voices in our TV.
Whereas in America, you're a TV director. You're a TV director for the rest of your life, and you direct other people's scripts, and you're told how to direct it.
Yeah, it's all based on the pilot. The pilot sets the tone.
Sets the tone. That's it. You decided. Whereas here, the director and stuff are on board from. I mean, different with the Mighty Boosh. They did have a different director for the pilot, but the pilot was very different.
Oh, okay.
Like, it was filmed in front of a live audience. It had a laughter track on it. It was a very different show.
Okay. I haven't seen it.
So that then Paul came in and changed it very much. And I think they did it as well, because it's Baby Cow who made it. Steve Coogan pretty much got them on telly.
Yeah,
he loved it, and he said he'll get them into the BBC. They were put on at like 11:30 on a Tuesday or some shit like that, but became this really strong cult following. And then did live tours. Like, Phil did Wembley and the O2 and the Brixton Academy, and managed to pull in audiences who all like dress up. Like really, like it was a real like big fandom around it that not many sitcoms have ever done. Really,
No.
There's not many sitcoms that do live tours and pull in people who by the thousands.
Yeah.
So mad, mad.
Yeah,
Sam-
I'm waiting for the IT crowd live on stage. That's
Right, Samuel.
I'm excited.
Sam's number 2, The In-Betweeners.
Okay, he's that's better. That's better.
But bear in mind this is his number 2. Read
Yeah.
out his explanation, David, if you will.
Yeah, go on.
For number 2,
Yep.
funny, but don't think I could rewatch.
That's his number 2.
And you don't think you can rewatch it?
This is number 2. And he don't think he can rewatch it. Oh dear. Brilliant.
In his defense, The In-Betweeners is very dated.
It is a bit, but it's dated as much as I think it's not dated.
Yeah.
It's dated because of how we've grown, not necessarily how everyone's grown.
But if you can't, I'm not
It's a
denying.
bit nostalgic.
What I'm saying is, I wouldn't put it as number 2 if I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, if I wouldn't watch it again. No, that's true. That's the argument.
Okay. Let me rephrase that. I think it's a product of its time. We all enjoyed it when we were that age.
Yeah,
and I think it's still a very good sitcom.
Yeah,
but we've now grown out of it.
Yeah,
so you wouldn't rewatch it, even though it's very good.
Yeah, I personally haven't grown out of it. I still think it's.
I've rewatched it recently and still did laugh quite a lot.
Yeah,
I've had the habit of is I watch Americans watch it on YouTube. That's entertaining because when you think about it, it's so like disgusting.
Yeah,
and Americans do not like it.
I started watching it, and I couldn't get through this.
It's cringy. It is cringy. That's what I like about it.
I remember this being funny, but my memory of that generation, or the generation of me, if that makes sense, my memory of it is better than actually watching it myself.
That's fair enough. No, I remember at the time because everyone was talking about it. It was like part of the zeitgeist.
It was a cultural phenomenon, and still is, but not for me anymore.
I know what you mean. I can understand. I understand. I disagree, but I understand.
Yeah, it's not on my list either. Partly because I forgot it, but
it was on my longer list, but I did get rid of it
for sure. I actually, in terms of those, hold on. Those creators, didn't some of them go on to do Fresh Meat?
Yes,
I think so.
Yeah,
they started off working with Ricky Gervais as well.
Yeah, I think that I would have personally gone for Fresh Meat over In-Betweeners, but
I like Fresh Meat as well. I forgot about Fresh Meat.
Yeah, Fresh Meat, if I was to do a top 10,
they're very similar. They're sort of like In-Betweeners, but at uni.
Yeah.
It's similar. Yeah. I mean, the fact that it's literally Joe Thomas
basically again. What they were to do, I think, is...
Pretend the In-Betweeners have now gone to uni, and that's where,
Yeah. Fresh Meat's an hour-long series, isn't it?
I think it's, it's 45.
Hour-long with ads.
Hour with ads.
Yeah,
Channel
it is.
4, wasn't it?
A Channel 4 hour, if you will.
Yeah.
Yes.
We even mentioned In-Betweeners got 2 films.
Yes.
And the first one, wasn't it like the highest earning comedy in the UK ever, wasn't it?
Yeah, mad.
So that's mad.
45 million.
That's a lot.
That film was rubbish as well. It was rubbish. And I love In-Betweeners, but that film was crap.
What's your take on the second one?
I preferred it to the first one.
Yeah, the second one did have, I don't know. The first one, I think I liked it more because I'd recently been to the place they filmed it.
Right.
So I was like, oh shit, there. I remember that vaguely. I was quite drunk, but I remember. So it's had a bit of an appeal to me.
Yeah.
I should probably give it another shot, to be fair.
I think the show itself is fantastic. The film
probably doesn't help that I'm watching it with my wife. That might make it a bit different.
Yeah.
You really like this as a
We watched it in science once.
Did you?
We had a substitute teacher and they couldn't give a shit. So I just logged onto their Channel 4 account and just put on In-Betweeners.
Genius.
That's great. It was a fish punch episode as well. It was just fucking demolishing.
That's a great episode. Yeah.
That is a good one.
think like, me remembering that is better than actually watching it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But Sam, a reasonable choice from Sam.
Yeah. What about you,
Madness.
David? What's your number 3 or number 2, whatever?
Number 2.
2 is Friday Night Dinner.
Okay.
What was your number 3, Callum?
40 Towers.
40 Towers. I didn't write it down. I apologise.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Friday Night Dinner. I really need to watch the show because I have not watched it.
Is that your number 2?
That's
Friday Night Dinner.
Okay. I have watched it.
I believe it's Sam's number 5. I think it's really clever because it is such a simple concept.
Mm-hmm.
And they manage to wring so many situations out of it. It's like Callum was saying about 40 Towers. This show is more about the situation than it is about individual jokes.
It is.
And it relies heavily on the chemistry of the family, which is pitch perfect.
And Jim.
See, Jim's an enigma for me. I don't know if I actually like him being in that show or not.
I
him being like
memes. I don't like the memes.
The memes are good.
That's stopped me from watching it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I care for this guy.
Yeah. For me, Jim is the weak link. Despite the fact that he's funny, he brings some real moments of levity.
He brings the chaos.
But he brings such a weird energy.
He does.
That just it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And you get used to it the further you go into its now 6 series run. You get used to it. The doorbell rings and you're like, oh, that'll be Jim.
Yep.
And normally I'm like, oh shit, Jim's here. I'd much rather stick with the family.
Okay.
But I think, yeah. But it's still really good. And the core 4 are amazing.
Okay.
Like, he absolutely nail the family dynamic really well. Supporting cast when they appear, terrific. And it's just really funny.
Yeah.
Like you can almost, by the time it gets to the 6th series, you can almost predict what characters are going to say in response to many things.
That's one of the reasons I kind of went off it.
Really, you became
got predictable.
You don't find predictability funny?
No.
Okay. So I think,
in the sense that it was I don't want to say I don't know how to describe this because I mean arguably 40 Towers is exactly the same, but you're just waiting for it to go wrong.
Yeah, sure. And you're
I don't know why that's a bad thing.
So the first half of most of the episodes consist of a number of setups being made.
Yeah.
And then they'll all come
pay off.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that I didn't enjoy it. I just when I was watching it, I found myself blanking out on doing something else as I was watching it.
Okay.
If that makes sense. I enjoyed it, and I think Jim's my favourite, but I really like the actor.
It's Mark Heath, isn't it?
Who's I've just remembered Green Wing and how that's not on my list, and I'm upset. Because I love that show as well. Also in Space, he's been in everything. But yeah, I enjoy it. It's a good choice.
I had a really weird moment. Paul Ritter, who plays the dad in it, he's in Quantum of Solace.
He's in Chernobyl as well.
Yeah.
He popped up in random things. I'm like, what the fuck's he doing there? It's brilliant.
As a thing, because you said you haven't seen Black Books, have you, David?
I have not.
You hadn't seen it. Tasman Grieg's in it.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, she's in a lot of things. She's good. She's
she's in that, so that's another incentive for you to watch it.
I already had incentives to watch it when you put it on your list.
Okay, fair enough. Okay,
list. My number 2.
Callum, number 2.
My number 2 is The Office.
Nice.
I very nearly said UK or US.
I mean, for one thing, there's not a like.
I've never enjoyed the US one.
Now and again.
Yeah, I've seen a few episodes that I like. I always found it a bit too OTT. But I just think The Office is just perfect, man. It's just fucking perfect. I just love it. I love it. Unlike what I said about 40 Towers, it's kind of like the opposite. It's the mundanity. It's not really the situations I enjoy. It's just watching the people, what they're doing, and it's kind of tragic. There's the tragic element that obviously I assume Ricky Gervais brought to the table in The Office, like the tragic element of this character who just wants to be loved and thinks that this is going to be the thing that does it because he's on national TV. But he's got to downplay it, but he can't, and it's just genius, and it's so mundane and so funny. I love all the characters. Gareth, I think maybe is a bit OTT. He kind of is like the Jim of the show, but
he's still believable.
He's believable in places.
I've still encountered people like that.
Yeah,
he's sort of an amalgamation of all those people, but he's definitely still based on a human. Because you could argue, you could definitely argue that David Brent is a bit over the he's not someone you'd meet. He's a squashed version of various different people that you've met.
Yeah, you can. For me, you can sort of believe that somewhere out there is a company with somebody like David Brent working.
Yes.
You could believe that.
I've met
come across it yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not like an outside gamble that something like that genuinely happens.
Yeah, I think there's those sort of characters in every, like Keith. I think he's my favourite character in the entirety of the show.
Yeah,
he's also a ridiculous human being. Essentially, like he's like no one's like that, are they? I suppose they are a little bit. Again, it's sort of like a sort of slight. Everyone's slightly turned up just a little bit to make it accessible.
I think. Yeah, yes.
But it's played realistically so that you believe it more. Because it's played like a mockumentary, you're more inclined to just go along with it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I think the atmosphere definitely helps with that.
Martin Freeman and Lucy Davis are pretty normal down.
But they're the sort of Martin Freeman is the audience.
Yeah, the everyman.
Because he's constantly like, what the fuck is happening? Like he's questioning and like surprised by the things that happen. Whereas everyone else is sort of like just goes with it.
Yeah, totally.
So that's but in terms of an argument of US, and I'm not even going to get into that because I've made my feelings clear before, and I'm not going to repeat it again.
All right. In which case, what's your number 2, B-Right?
Oh, my number 2 is The Office.
The Office, fantastic.
Wow,
excellent, great, good. I love The Office. I've bought it twice on box set. I bought the original box set, and they brought out the special one, and I bought it again because I wanted more. I repeatedly just watched the outtakes a lot, just on YouTube when I'm bored, because they're brilliant. And I think I've watched the series through at least 15, 20 times. Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
I dare say it's more.
For those who have been paying attention, like The Office is getting a whole bunch of bonus points as well.
It is. It's getting a lot of points.
We chose it as Sam's honorable mention.
Yep. It's got some pointage.
That puts me in an awkward position because I've never really been on board with Ricky Gervais's unique style of comedy.
Yeah, that's interesting. I know a lot of people that aren't.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who hate it.
I think. So I don't hate.
Not that you do, but I know. Yeah,
I understand it, and I appreciate that it's funny, but I'm not laughing. I don't quite get why, and I almost annoyed at myself really because
why don't I like it?
Well, I understand that
everyone else does. What's wrong with me?
Why am I not responding to it in the right way?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I can't put it on my list, but
that's fair enough.
Yeah, I like most of his series. I sort of start watching them and then I just don't feel like carrying on with it. Wow. So I've seen 3 episodes of The Office.
Wow.
Never felt the need to go back to it.
That's great. Okay.
I should give it another go.
I would say please do, because it's just gorgeous. It's brilliant. It's fantastic.
And by the end, you're sort of like very emotionally involved.
Yeah.
The first 3 episodes I'll give you doesn't really start happening yet because you don't really know the characters yet.
Yeah.
The intro to characters is quite. Apart from David Brent, who like the first thing comes out like I know who this man is because it starts with I can give a job to any man, aka for you, which is one of my favorite. Like that first scene, which is like I think based on just like improvising that Ricky Gervais did. Yeah. That first opening scene they did the pilot as well. Just sets up everything you need to know about that man.
It is a good series. I just never felt compelled to carry on with it.
Well, be compelled.
It's a couple of years ago now. So I think I've been refined by my time on Rat Party.
Yeah, give it another go, man. Give it another
Give it
go.
another go.
Right,
What about Sam?
we're ready for Sam to disappoint us?
Sam's number one. Any guesses?
You know what? From what he's done so far, it could be fucking
The
anything. Could be Care Bears for all I fucking know.
British sitcom that for Sam is better than the In-Betweeners.
It's the IT crowd, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, yay! I suppose, yeah, but at least we mentioned earlier that him and we sang it, and I should have guessed.
Yeah.
Good. He's somewhat redeemed himself a little bit.
The relief in your voice when I said that is.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I'm happy now.
He says funny, great writing and acting.
Actually, a point. He had an opinion.
Yeah.
He stated his one opinion.
He had three.
For the last one. For
three
number
opinions.
one. Three separate opinions.
Funny, great writing, great acting.
He even has a descripting word. He didn't put just funny, writing, acting. Yeah. Funny, great writing. Again, he's lazy. He's used great again. But great acting, great.
Well, he just said great writing and acting.
So. Oh, okay. He's just handed it. Okay, but still. Yeah. So, yeah, he's actually put some description, some emotion into it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I was thoroughly expecting him to say something like, well, I like IT. And I like...
but I'm not a massive fan of crowds. 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Speaking of that, has anyone seen the American pilot?
No,
for the IT crowd.
No desire to.
I'm currently part of a Facebook page, which is just a shit posting IT crowd page, which I recommend joining because it's hilarious.
I have seen the.
It's good.
It's oh boy.
It's kept me entertained, but yeah, it's god awful.
Mm-hmm.
It's dreadful because it's exactly the same script. No change, which often is when they do like a UK to US. They keep the script, but Rich Ayawadi is still Moss.
Yeah.
So he's just British. It's just Moss. Jen's just played. I don't know her name. Just an American actress.
Insert.
And then and then the part of Roy is played by Joel McHale.
Yeah, the guy from Community, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, Matt.
Which is poor. Not because Joel McHale's not good. He's very funny, but he's not Roy because John McHale is very good looking.
Yeah.
Not to say that Chris O'Dowd isn't good looking, but he's not traditionally good looking.
John McHale has too much charm.
Far too much. Too much charisma. Too much. He's too much of a functioning human being.
Yeah. Whereas him pretending to be a Roy-like character.
It's horrible. It's actually painful to watch. And the guy they get in to play Denham, because it's the first series, is the boss from Peep Show. Can't remember his name. Right. Him, the same guy.
What? John...
So he's another British actor, but doing an American voice.
Yeah.
Don't know why. It's awful. No wonder it didn't get past the pilot stage because it was fucking dreadful.
I probably will not watch that.
Someone posted it, and I thought, you know what? Curiosity, I'm doing fuck all else. I'm gonna watch it, and it was. It hurt. Yeah. But the British version, lovely, wonderful, one of my favourites.
Yeah.
Good.
David.
Right. David, you're number one.
My number one
is the US pilot of IT Crowd.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned US terrible pilots.
Okay.
My number one is Peep Show.
Okay, there we go.
Which also had a goddamn awful US pilot, which abandoned.
Again, I can imagine that going very poorly. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it abandoned the point of view.
Well, then, what the fuck is? What's the point then?
It just did a multi-camera setup.
Wow.
It was awful.
So it's just, oh no.
Yeah.
Whose idea was that? The USP of the entire show. Oh, fuck it. No, throw it out.
Yeah.
The reason it's called Peep Show. Oh, fuck it. No, just.
Yeah.
Oh.
They done goofed, as they might say.
That is all, yeah. But get back to the actual.
So my favorite, one of my all-time favorite forms of comedy is the farce. Mm-hmm. Which for people who don't really understand what people mean by farce, it is when everything that could possibly go wrong goes wrong, and it gets worse and worse and
it's like
worse.
40 Towers. 40 Towers
until it
is a
ends.
classic farcical.
Well, 40 Towers is a wonderful farce.
Yeah.
Peep Show is also a fantastic farce, a very modern style of farce.
Very personal farce.
Yes, everything that a person can do wrong in the most earnest way possible, they are going to do wrong, and it's absolutely wonderful. And what I think is really good about Peep Show, we sort of touched on it with Friday Night Dinner. It's that you don't really see anything coming in Peep Show. I would argue it gets a bit predictable later on.
It can do, yeah.
But sometimes it will just throw something out. It makes so much sense in the moment, but you don't see it coming, and that's why it's hilarious. It's by far my favorite. It was number one instantly when we agreed on this topic. So it's a gut reaction putting it up at number one.
Yeah.
It's probably the one on here that I've rewatched the most.
Mm-hmm.
I think I really watched it 3 times through. I don't really.
It's quite long, to be fair.
Well, there's 9 series of it now.
Yeah.
So
again, it's only a few episodes per series, but still.
Yeah, it's 6.
Yeah, so it's only
6 every season.
Yeah, so it's only 50 something episodes.
Yeah. But I think mostly for me, I empathize so much with David Mitchell's character. I really do.
That original character
feels like he feels like one of the worst possible versions of me. Like if things in my life had gone differently, I might find myself in that situation.
Amazing.
Like I can see it happening, and I think that's brilliant.
Fantastic.
But yeah, so it might be a more personal thing for me why it's a number one.
Yeah, that's why we do these things.
Yeah,
I'm not going to disappoint you both and be a bit of a Sam in that it didn't even make my long list.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't really. It's all right. I prefer Mitchell and Webb look, if I'm honest.
That's fair. I mean, Mitchell Webb, that's varied.
Yeah, I enjoy Peep Show. I think I watched the first 4 or 5 series.
Yeah.
Wow.
I enjoyed it, but never really got my teeth into it.
Okay.
Good moments, but I wasn't really invested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have the same thing you had of I can't really relate to either of them.
Yeah. Well, if I watch The Office, maybe you can watch Peep Show.
I've watched the vast majority of it.
Watch it all. It's fantastic.
It's got to do the last 4 series. I think it's 4 or 5 series, but I'd probably start again if I did.
It gets better and better. Like so good. My number one is not only my favorite British sitcom, it is my favorite just comedy.
Favorite.
Peep Show.
Yep.
Yes.
it's. So now I'd already written it down.
It's I watch it twice a year, all the way through. I think I've seen it all the way through probably about 10 times. I can't get enough of it. I would watch it. I could finish it and then again. Yeah. Over and over again, forever. I just can't get enough of it.
I mean, I could if I didn't have so much else to fucking watch. But...
Yeah, it's true.
I find myself like skimming, for new shows or whatever, and I'll just end up pressing play on Peep Show again. It's just fucking fantastic. every episode, it's so good. It's so good. I love it. Every episode, brilliant.
See, I was holding back when I put it at number 1. I was just like, I don't think other people like this show as much, so I'll be a bit more.
Yeah, you don't know Callum McDowell.
I knew he liked Peep Show. I didn't know he was this enthused.
I predicted it from the beginning.
I just think it's absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. That's all I have to say on it, really.
What is it about the show though? Like,
I just think it's perfect. I don't know why I think it's perfect. I just do. I just think it's absolutely perfect. Like, and especially once they refined the whole the way they film it. Because the first series is a bit janky, the second series is a bit janky.
I quite like the jankiness of the earlier series.
I don't know. It kind of throws me off a little bit, but by series 3
when they start kissing other characters, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I've always thought it's fine. It's more like the when they're looking in a mirror, but the camera's fixed. They like really like in the future episodes, they might really like figure out how to do it, and it like all looks really seamless. Even down to like making sure an extra's walking towards them so they can get the reverse angle. Things that they neglected to do in the earlier season. But yeah, it's just brilliant. I love all the characters. Super Hands, Johnson, Dobby, Olivia Colman. I've just forgotten her name in the show.
You know what? Speaking of it, I think I've always preferred the supporting cast. When I watched it, I preferred the supporting. I like all the other characters.
It's Mark and Jeremy all the way,
that's
right?
The thing. And that's why I didn't quite get into it.
Yeah, I just love every single character.
Yeah,
every single one. Yeah, I just love it. Yeah, that's my number one. What about you?
Do you also empathise with the character of?
Super Hands. I bet you.
Yes, I do a little bit. I empathise with both of them a little bit. And the thing is, when I have watched it, because when I do start it, I do go all the way through. By the time I finish it, I find myself thinking the way that like my thought process. I can almost like.
So you get slightly brainwashed by Peep Show.
I do, yeah. I can.
I walk around. I hear David.
Fine.
Yeah, it'll be like I'm having like an internal monologue as opposed to just thinking things. It's really odd, but in that regard, I must empathise with them in a way because I like really get involved with their characters. Yeah, great.
I think one of my things about it is their thoughts are so well written. Like that is genuinely what people think, and they're not afraid of going down the darker routes.
Yeah,
I don't think like they're not shying away from how bad people are compared to how they behave in real life, and you've got that balance in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's I think it probably more so earlier on. You get whole monologues of one of the characters like going through the pros and cons of doing something. And I'll be like, oh, but if I do it, I should do it, but I can't do it because of that. I love it.
Yeah.
I was like, let's give Ryan a chance to rave about something because I don't think he's put it.
Oh, is it me? Is it me? It's my number one. Sorry, I'm starting to do the maths now, so we don't get a gap. My number one is Blackadder.
Nice.
Good shout. That's a good shout.
I just really like it.
That was on my short list.
I love Blackadder. I can watch it over and over again. It's brilliant.
What's your favourite?
It's great.
Just love it all.
My favourite one.
Favourite series then?
Well, favourite series I think is series 3, the Regency one, because Hugh Laurie and the Hugh Laurie, Rowan Atkinson, they're just hilarious, like their relationship. But number 4 is also fucking brilliant for the same reasons, because he's in it again. But there's also the ending, which is spectacular. Yeah. I think, exceptionally well written by 2 very good writers, Richard Curtis and Ben Elton.
Yep.
First series is weird. If you watched the first series, odd, strange, because it was only Richard Curtis at that point.
Wonderful. I really like it. I love the grand scale. Like they've actually filmed in a castle and they have horses and like they go for it. The pilot episode where he murders.
He kills Richard or something. Can't remember.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Just chops his head off. But I think they didn't quite get the chemistry of the characters right. Like in the first episode, Edmund is an idiot.
Yep. And
Baldrick's kind of quite clever. And then in series 2, they just flip that round, and it benefits so much from that because it's just they're back and forth, and the sort of I think it really is a performance. The writing is excellent, but the words are performed so well by each individual.
Yeah.
Rowan Atkinson can just read the dictionary and you'd fucking laugh.
Yeah.
He's just one of the funniest human beings. All the supporting cast, all brilliant British comics. Like it just, and I can watch it over and over again. Even like the Weird 2000 special, which was a bit weird and a bit shit, I quite like. Like the film, the Millennium one. But it's really tricky. Like the fact that they went through 4 series and the setting completely changes each time. But you know exactly who those characters are. They're the same characters, and
it's transplanting the same characters in different places,
which is a risk. Like,
it's basically the Doctor Who of sitcoms.
It is very similar to that.
Not quite, but
I'm a bit of a history nerd and buff, so I like the historical references and the jokes about certain historical moments and people like that, like completely undercutting a lot of major historical figures for probably the dicks they most likely were. Like we don't actually think like
Yeah.
like the Duke of Wellington stuff, just punching around the face all the time is just brilliant. So yeah, I really like it. Really like it.
Yeah, man.
No, I don't begrudge you picking that as number 1 at all.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
I've done a lot of the maths, but I'm still not quite there. So talk
we've got a few British sitcoms that we didn't talk about at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it'd be worth bringing up. As soon as you mentioned Rowan Atkinson, I got slightly annoyed that I didn't put Mr. Bean on my list.
Yeah, Mr. Bean again was in my.
You don't think about that. You don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just don't think about it because it's not. I mean, it's a sitcom, but not a traditional one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I didn't think of Boosh, for example.
Yeah, that would be my
because it's slightly left field.
I refer to it's slightly different.
I don't
different form of comedy.
Think
the idea of silent comedy.
Yeah. See, I don't think Mighty Boosh would have made my list, but I just never considered it.
But but Mr. Bean may have. Mr. Bean has got one of my favourite comedic moments of all time when he's down at a beach.
Yeah.
There's a guy sat there.
Oh yeah.
And he gets changed, and the guy's blind. I can watch that continuously over and even I know the ending now. It's still hilarious.
It's
because this cruciation pain that he goes through to do it and change in such an awkward way is exceptional.
I remember the first time I ever watched that scene. It was.
And also, you watch it because it's like that. It's probably one of the first sitcoms you watch as a child.
Yeah.
Because it has international because there's no language really. You can just watch it whoever you are, and it's
the movie. But
yeah. Even then, most of that's in French. Take the subtitles off. You've got a fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah.
Matt from Dead Is Better sent us his little list. He sent us a list of three that he wanted to talk about. But we've talked about all of them, but I'll just say them anyway. So Matt's choices were at number 3 was The Office, number 2 was Spaced, and number 1 was Peep Show, a fellow Peep Show lover. He said The Office and Peep Show because of the unbelievably cringy humour and how the characters evolve, and Spaced because of how fucking amazing Edgar and Simon were with their continuous references that are sprinkled into the show without it seeming like it was trying to pander to pop culture. And
because a lot of the references were fucking obscure.
Exactly. Yeah, like the Simpsons way of doing it. They're not necessarily overt.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not always saying
they do like Star Wars, but still, there's other ones where they do like Night of the Living Dead and stuff.
I think Star Wars is slightly more well known, and you can probably
but they range all the way from the big high earning to the small minutiae of just film nerd, not necessarily like. They copy shots and scenes from just films that they like, and some of them are just weird.
Yeah, that's definitely a good one.
And Quentin Tarantino's favorite TV show. He loves it.
Yeah. All right. What about ones that made your shortlist but didn't get on?
Other ones I did. I had just a similar vein. I had Young Ones and Bottom because I love Rick Mayall, but neither of them made it. Because Rick Mayall was just fantastic, and Eddie Edmondson were both brilliant. Another one that show, the Bottom went on to do live tours and stuff and sold out arenas and stuff. That was another one that was huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm Alan Partridge. That was on the shortlist, but
that was on mine as well.
But it didn't quite make it.
I like the character of Alan Partridge, but I don't think any of his series actually.
Yeah, I'll admit the first 2 series I really loved. When he's gone on and done other specials, and I haven't really been that invested.
Of course,
but
it was series last year, I think it was last year he did This Time.
Yeah,
with Alan Partridge, which was very good.
Yeah,
but again, wouldn't make any shortlists.
It's not the same sort of lightning in the bottle.
It's just the character doing something, and I like. I think I like the idea of the character more than any of his individual.
Yeah, that's why I think the first series is definitely the best because we meet the characters vaguely existed in other sketch shows before then, and he sort of made it into a thing.
So the first one was Knowing Me, Knowing You, which I really enjoyed.
The chat show.
And then I'm Alan Partridge just followed him around for a bit.
Yeah, that was just his life collapsing.
It's the best of the bunch, I would say.
Yeah.
And it's got some great moments in it.
And he's fucking made a lot of money off that character, so he can't. He has milked that character dry.
The 2 I have in mind that I didn't mention was Extras. Love Extras. Rewatched Extras many times.
Same.
And the other one is Kyriakos.
Oh Christ!
Kyriakos is this show about a ex-pro biker who basically has an accident and can't bike anymore. But when the documentary crew start following him around,
I think he gave it away when he said "we."
he's trying to re-reach the heights of fame, and a lot of funny things come out of that. The fact that I made the show
nothing to do with it.
Come into play here. It's it's just really good. If anyone hasn't seen it, Kyriakos is actually really fun.
Fuck's sake!
It is right. You're in it. You're in it.
I know I'm in it. I'm fully aware I'm in it, Callum. I'm just not a fan of the overt plug.
We're actually going to be
shameless fucking plug.
We're going to be making episode 6 next year, and we're going to be going to Greece.
Fuck
we're
off.
We're going to be filming part of it in Greece.
Am I invited?
Yeah, of course
I'll come Greece.
Yeah, of course you are.
God, fucking lad's holiday and film a TV show.
Jack and I are using this quarantine as a bit of time to try and figure out parts of the episode and how we're going to do it.
So we're literally doing that overtly heavy-handed sitcom trope of once it dies out, go abroad.
Yes and no, but ours is very integral to the story because obviously he is a Greek character.
He is Greek. Greek.
I'm gonna tell you once this recording is over.
Okay.
Why?
Ooh.
So it's not a spoiler. Why he goes to Greece, but it's fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in for that.
Yep. So, what's the scores?
Right, the scores on the doors.
There's a few more on my list that I wanted to quickly.
Oh, go for it, because I've not quite there yet.
Dad's Army on my shortlist.
Nice.
Which is great sitcom. Also had a few sort of touring things, but I think they were homages or like new casts of characters just performing episodes, which I actually saw before I saw the series itself. That's good. And the other ones was Fleabag.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That I completely forgot, and I wish because that would have been on my list. 100%.
Yeah, I don't think it was just like for me, it's not really that funny. For me,
I agree with that.
But,
it is, but it's not. But it is. It's always tinged with sadness.
Actually, make me laugh out loud though.
Yeah.
Like I think they're funny on a different level than just laugh. They're just naturally charming and light-hearted and depressing.
You completely fall for those characters.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because of how charming it is. But no one put it on the list.
Indeed.
So that way nobody gets annoyed that we've missed it. I suppose. Maybe a little bit.
We are done.
Okay.
We have a dispute.
Oh.
For second and third, but I know which way it's going to go, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, we might change our minds.
You're not going to change your mind.
Peep show.
Because
Peep show second.
Yeah, essentially. But going from the bottom, we'll start with number 5. When we get to the default, we'll do it. So, number 5 is Friday Night Dinner. That scraped in, thanks to... Actually, no, it didn't. Oh, shit. We've got a dispute at number 5.
Oh.
Between Friday Night Dinner and Blackadder.
Blackadder for me, because I haven't seen Friday Night.
Blackadder was my number 1, so it's pretty obvious.
It's got to be Friday Night Dinner for me. And I think Sam
put Friday Night Dinner is number 5.
Yeah.
But Sam's here, so.
But Sam's not here. Not here, your vote doesn't count.
It appeared on 2 lists, whereas Blackadder only appeared on 1 list. So, yeah.
But that's not how we do it, is it? We do it by a vote system. We've established this. For the people who are there, that's how we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's Blackadder. Good.
Shit.
Blackadder is number 5. Shit on it. Right.
I knew I should have put Friday Night Dinner as number 1.
That would have done it. It would have got 6 points. It would have cleared it up.
Yeah. It would have cleared up Peep Show versus whatever at number 2 and 3 as well.
Number 4 is 40 Towers. I think that's because we had 2 honorable mentions and that bumped it up. Here we go. Number 3, number 2. We have got IT Crowd and Peep Show. We're going to vote. We know how it's going. So,
fuck.
Yeah.
They are both wonderful.
They are. But if David, you can go by your list, then...
No, I know. It's got to be
the way
Peep
it
Show.
goes.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
So it's IT Crowd at number 3. Peep Show at number 2. And number 1 is The Office.
Yeah.
There we go.
Mainly thanks to our decision to take it as Sam's honorable mention.
I'm pretty sure Sam prefers 2012 as his
No, he don't. Who prefers 2012 over anything? That's mad.
Considering that no fuckers watch 2012, I mean.
Exactly. So yes,
Brilliant.
The Office, which is we're literally that's every list of Great British sitcoms. The Office is usually at number 1, so we're pretty fucking basic, lads.
We are basic white bitches.
I mean,
I thought Towers is number 2, and we got that at number 4. So we've really stuck with the tradition.
Yeah.
So just to repeat, final list: 5 Blackadder, 4 40 Towers, 3 IT Crowd, 2 Peep Show, and number 1 is The Office. That is it.
I'm happy with
Decided, settled,
groovy. All right then.
Wonderful.
Great.
It's been lovely.
It has been lovely, as per usual.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the book down now.
I love you both. And I love all you watching at home.
Blair, we love you all. Be safe. Oh Christ. Be good. Be safe. Be lovely to each other. All those things.
And stay inside and protect the NHS.
NHS. Also listen to Rap Pie. Share Rap Pie. You haven't even got an excuse to not share. Because I can't share. I'm busy. Even though that's ridiculous anyway. But now you're not.
Indeed.
Fucking share it. Okay.
Yeah.
Look straight at you. All right. Share it. Do it.
Right.
I'm not going to blink until you share it, all right? Never. It's not going to blink. Fuck. It's happening.
You blinked.
I know.
All right. Au revoir.
Yeah.
Yes. Fairly well, guys.
I'm going to go watch The Office, I suppose.
Nice.
I better
enjoy.
it. I better enjoy it.
You fucking, you better. You have to. It's number 1, David. You haven't got a choice. You have to enjoy it. It's the rules now.
It can be the best UK sitcom and I can still not like it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, then. Bye-bye, my lovelies.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of whatever we've been doing here at Rap Party HQ. We'd like to thank Sam Sargent for supplying the score. To hear the full tracks and more music of the same ilk, feel free to head to soundcloud.com/Sam Sargent and tell him Rap Party sent you, preferably not at gunpoint. While on the internet, it'd help us out if you liked us on Facebook, followed us on Twitter, and kept an eye out for further episodes. Thanks once again for listening, and that's a wrap.